something I failed to realize about the Great Awakening in particular was that the influence it had on the American Revolution, which makes sense because it was, in the years preceding the American Revolution when dissent and rebellion thoughts towards the crown were running rampant in our society in colonial America. In a faithful narrative, I think Jonathan Edwards is describing, he's not only describing what happened during the Great Awakening, but he's also describing how people turned and started paying attention, I think, to their religious freedoms. Excuse me. They started turning towards piety and away from a party spirit and contention within the church. It happened all over the area of New England in that time, and it seemed to be the same kind of spirit changing and reforming in people. He refers to towns such as Lebanon and Coventry, not only in Northampton, but they were experiencing the same kind of reformed thinking and concern for eternal life that the people in Northampton were experiencing. They were turning from debauchery and dissent for the church and turning to godliness and piety. Stephen Stein talks about the prayer bids of the 1730s and 40s in For Their Spiritual Good, which was published in the William and Mary Quarterly. So the notes are a reminder, I think, to everybody of how people were turning their hearts towards God at that time, turning away from worldly lusts and desires. They are historically important because of their reminder of a bittersweet daily life of colonial America, how hard it was to live. For literature's sake, they are a distinctive form and type of writing. And for theologians and religious history students, they are direct expressions of the popular religious notions of the time and people's religious needs. So leading up to the American Revolution, we've experienced the Great Awakening. We're seeing the change in people in the congregation, in the townships, and even new believers. And George Whitefield preached in a sermon that they might observe his statutes and keep his laws. He's quoted as saying this: "If it be a mercy to be delivered from a religion that turns plowshares into swords and pruning hooks into spears, and makes it meritorious to shed Protestant blood, if it be a mercy to have all our present invaluable privileges, both in church and state, secured to us more than ever, if it be a mercy to have these great things done for us at a season when, for our crying sins, both church and state justly deserve to be overturned, then we should thank God," is what he says, essentially. So basically he's saying he's feeding the fire of revolution in colonial America, even so much to say that in 1769 he was quoted at a meeting of New England pastors as to saying, "I can't in conscience leave the town without acquainting you with a secret. My heart bleeds for America. Oh, poor New England, there is a deep-laid plot against your civil and religious liberties, and they will be lost." And I think people were already worried about their freedoms being taken from them with the threat of the disestablishment of the self-governing colonies and the Anglican Church being reestablished in America. Edwards and Whitefield helped fuel the religious and political fires for the coming rebellion.